Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Ocean County College's Career Service Center, and we are proud to present a presentation from Hackensack Meridian Health, who are today going to talk about employment opportunities within their system. I'm going to pass this off to their Human Resource Department, and they'll introduce themselves and let you know about the opportunities, the culture, and about where you can fit in their employment opportunities. So please stay with us throughout the presentation. There'll be an opportunity at the end to ask questions, and obviously an opportunity to connect with those people presenting today. So with that being said, I'll pass that over to you, Matt.
Thanks so much, Chris. Hi, everyone. My name is Matt DiBartolomeo, and I'm the manager of academic relations within Hackensack Meridian Health. So I've been with Hackensack Meridian Health for about 3 years now. I came from more of a higher ed background. And so I'm just so very excited to talk about our fantastic organization with all of you. Along with me today, my colleague, Brandon Atkins, is with me, and he is the talent acquisition partner. Brandon, if you want to say a few words.
Yeah, let's make sure. Okay, can you hear me? Awesome. Yes, so my name is Brandon Atkins. I'm part of the talent acquisition team, overseeing all hospitality, different positions within that, that space. I've been on the team for about 2 years now, and come from a recruiting background.
Thanks, Brandon. So with that said, I'm going to turn off my video and share our screen with you so that we can start the presentation. All right. Apologies for my computer. It's acting a little slow today. There we are. Okay. So thanks again, everyone who joined in today. And so just in terms of the agenda for today, Brandon and I are going to talk about overall information about Hackensack Meridian, including the services we provide, some of our partner organizations, our organizational culture, which is just so incredibly important to us and for the work that we do. And then we'll get into the hiring process and some of our open positions within the hospitality and support services space. So first, what is Hackensack Meridian Health? Well, we are the leading non-for-profit healthcare organization that is the most comprehensive and truly integrated healthcare network in New Jersey. So HMH offers a complete range of medical services, innovative research, and life-enhancing care to all of our patients. Hackensack Meridian currently comprises of 17 hospitals. So this slide's actually a little old. We recently merged with JFK Medical Center last year. So we have 17 acute care hospitals, including 3 academic medical centers, 2 children's hospitals, 9 community hospitals, 2 rehabilitation hospitals, and more than 450 patient care sites and physicians' offices. Hackensack Meridian Health also has 36,000 team members now, so that's up from 33,000 team members, more than 6,500 physicians, and is considered a distinguished leader in healthcare philanthropy, committed to the health and well-being of all the communities that it serves. So you can see here in terms of the number of yearly ER visits and acute admissions throughout all of our hospitals. Those numbers are actually lower now. There has been a slight increase over the past year or so. So I love showing this map because you can really see all of the different locations that we have throughout the state of New Jersey. As you can see, we're on the coastal side of the state of New Jersey, but our hospitals are located as far north as Bergen County and as far south as Ocean County, right? So for instance, up north, we have Hackensack University Medical Center, which is usually considered the #1 or at least one of the top hospitals in the state of New Jersey. Down south, our other larger academic hospital is Jersey Shore University Medical Center. It's a regional trauma center, really well known for its cardiac surgery, and it's a great teaching hospital. And in between, we have other hospitals such as Bayshore Community Hospital, Riverview Medical Center, Southern Ocean Medical Center, JFK Medical Center, which we just merged with. So we have so many different areas and so many different hospital locations throughout the state of New Jersey. And with that comes a lot of opportunity for positions throughout all of those hospitals. And on the right-hand side, that other map is really all of our other locations that we have in terms of physicians' offices, patient care centers, outpatient post-acute centers, fitness and wellness centers, and other areas as well. And that really kind of ties into my next slide, which really focuses on the services that we provide at Hackensack Meridian Health. So obviously, we do provide acute care, those hospitals, those emergency departments that we have, and we do have post-acute care, think more long-term care, assisted living, hospice care, right? But we also have community-based care. And that's really important because a lot of people, when they think of Hackensack Meridian Health, they just think of our hospitals, right? You're not feeling well, you're sick, you need to have surgery, you go into our facilities. But we not only care for those who need immediate care, we also care for those who want to maintain wellness and well-being, right? So we have 3 different fitness and wellness centers, for example, throughout the state. We have retail clinics. We have a lot of different surgery centers, outpatient rehab centers, right? We have retail pharmacies. We have medical apps that really provide a lot of convenience to our patients, especially now living in the world that we live in currently. We have a service called Convenient Care, where you're actually able to have a video chat with a physician or a healthcare professional if you're not feeling well and you're a little apprehensive about going into a hospital, right? So we have a lot of those different type of telemedicine virtual visits that we provide as well. So we like to think that really from birth through end of life care, there is a Hackensack Meridian facility that can assist, right? And that's really from community-based care to acute care to post-acute care. HMH has services to assist all guests, all patients, and when you consider hospitality, all families of those patients as well, which is incredibly important. So in terms of our organizational partners that we have a lot of different collaborations with, we have a lot of different initiatives with. I mean, there are so many organizations, I can't even name all of them in this presentation. I'll be here till tomorrow, right? So, in terms of academic organizations, for instance, Seton Hall University, we've partnered with, and we actually collaborated in opening up the first private school of medicine in the state of New Jersey. And that opened up in 2018. We admitted our first class in the fall of 2018, and those classes keep on getting larger and larger as the years go. So we're really proud of that. In terms of innovative research for oncology, in terms of all the research that we do for cancer patients, we have a great relationship with Georgetown University to help initiate that as well. So, and I don't know if anyone's a sports fan, but we are the hometown hospital for the New York Giants, Hackensack University Medical Center. So I don't know if anyone's a Giants fan or not. If you are, I apologize for last season. That was kind of a little crazy there, but we have affiliations with the Giants, with the New Jersey Red Bulls. When the Super Bowl was in New Jersey a few years ago, Hackensack University Medical Center was the only hospital selected to serve as the official health services provider for the Super Bowl. Right, the New Jersey Devils, the Barclay golf tournament. So in terms of sports, we have so many different partnerships with different sports leagues. I'm sure that everyone's heard of Uber and Lyft. We have a lot of different, we have a partnership with both of those services to provide reliable transportation for staff, patients, and visitors. We work with Panasonic to revolutionize the way patients are remotely monitored. And perhaps most importantly, we recently merged with Carrier Clinic, which is the largest and most reputable behavioral health organization in the state of New Jersey. So we are very happy to have Carrier Clinic under the HMH umbrella, and they do fantastic work, especially now when a lot of healthcare workers are incredibly stressed out with everything going on with the COVID-19 pandemic. So Carrier Clinic does fantastic work, and they provide really amazing services for not just us as team members, but also other individuals as well who need that behavioral health treatment. So now I really want to get into our culture. And culture is incredibly important for a lot of different reasons. it's important for an organization to have shared beliefs in something, shared values, in order for them to really hit and achieve their goals and their strategy. And that really starts with our overall mission at Hackensack Meridian Health. And that mission is to transform healthcare and be recognized as a leader of positive change in the industry, right? So what does that mean? That means delivering better care to more people who need it, right? Whether it's through telemedicine, whether it's through opening up, certain pop-up locations that really meet the need of the high influx of patients during the COVID-19 pandemic, right? It's having an innovative mindset as well. So being sure to invest in new breakthrough technology, services, different tools to help really drive and innovate healthcare in terms of caring for patients. And perhaps most importantly, we can't get any of this done if we don't attract new talent and the right type of talent into our organization. And that really brings into the vision of our organization, and that is that innovation is in our DNA, and we want to provide the highest quality care that isn't just patient-centered, but is human-centered, right? So what do we mean by that? Well, obviously, Hackensack Meridian Health, they care for their patients, right? That's really the main area that we do, but we also care for our team members as well. We want to make sure that our team members are satisfied with their positions. We want to make sure that they are challenged, and we want to make sure that they're successful in their roles, right? So our care is human-centered, both patients and our team members, and really the communities that we serve overall, right? And we want to deliver outcomes that matter the most. And this is really the main point of our culture. So in terms of the strategy that we have, as you can see on this illustration, we want to provide the future of healthcare delivery. We want to grow the different marketplaces, to provide superior value and with accessible, comprehensive, integrated programs, services, and facilities. We want to fund nationally recognized innovations, right? Obviously, financial success is important to us, but none of this can happen if we don't have a strong culture in place, right? Our strategic plan cannot move forward without having the right people in place, the right people who have certain behaviors, shared values, and that really brings us to our overall beliefs. And at Hackensack Meridian Health, we believe in what's called the 4 C's, right? So that is being creative, courageous, compassionate, and collaborative in everything that we do at Hackensack Meridian Health, right? So as you can see, it kind of brings it all together, brings together our mission. We will transform healthcare. That is our mission. We will do this because innovation is in our DNA. And everyone at Hackensack Meridian Health, all the team members, we believe that we truly are creative, courageous, compassionate, and collaborative, right? So that is incredibly important to what we do and why we really achieve some great and phenomenal things at Hackensack Meridian Health, whether it's during the pandemic or if
I have it up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, so whether it's during a pandemic or if it's not during a pandemic and somebody needs to come in for surgery, for instance, or if somebody's not feeling well, if they have the flu, something like that, we believe that we need to behave in these 4 C's with everything that we do. And that goes for clinical workers and non-clinical workers like Brandon and myself. We work in HR. We still abide by those 4 C's in our behavior, in the projects that we work on, in the initiatives that we start. So that's incredibly important to us. So really, to bring it all together, we will because I am. We will transform healthcare. We will be successful because innovation is in our DNA and we deliver outcomes that matter most. Right? I am creative, courageous, compassionate, and collaborative. And I like to really include this little formula here to really tie it all together. How we think and act, our behaviors. That's really where the 4 C's come from, right? That's our culture. And through that, we want to combine that with the experiences that we create, not just for patients, but also for our team members who come in, right? We want to create that excellence in everything that we do, whether it's caring for someone or if it's providing services for our team members. And we want people to feel exceptional moments. We want people to have that human experience. when they either walk into Hackensack Meridian Health or when they start working at Hackensack Meridian Health. So I think that's incredibly important. And with that, I will hand it off to Brandon as he will start talking about the hiring process.
All right. So thank you, Matt. To dive into this section, I'm just going to cover the hiring process, just some of the positions that we are offering at this moment that are related to hospitality. So, as you can see, bullet one is just, applying online, having your resume in hand and ready to go, and, adding that cover letter just as a nice touch. So when you go and you look up hackensackmeridian.org or Hackensack Meridian Health on Google or any of your search, providers, if you can, search Hackensack Meridian, you'll see that's going to say jobs or like apply to, some of our jobs. There'll be like a little tag, or if you go onto the website, you could look up our career portal. So once you have applied and you found a position that, interests you, you would have to then take a Talent Plus assessment. What this is it's like a personality assessment. It's trying to get a gauge for your strengths and just your overall, I guess, your work history, who you are as a person in the workplace. And that's what it's just trying to get a sense for. So that is crucial that you do take that. That needs to be taken in order for us as recruiters to then go into your profile and then give you a call for next steps. So definitely take your time, answer all those questions as honest and professional as possible. So if you so choose to then go apply, you'll notice it will tell you this is the Talent Plus assessment. It's going to take you about 15, 20 minutes or so. Please take your time. So just to reiterate that. After taking Talent Plus and then finishing your application, then you would have to wait for an interview with one of our talent acquisition partners, such as myself. From there, then dependent on, I guess, the interview and the discussion, as far as the positions that you're interested in, your work history. Once that conversation is had, potentially there might be a follow-up interview with the hiring manager. And then based upon that interview with the hiring manager, potentially an offer. So in essence, that's just a little, insight into what that process would look like in a nutshell. So I guess moving on to next slide. Just some helpful hints. Definitely go onto our website, do a little research, read the job description, familiarize yourself with some of our locations. Just had Matt had, touched upon was the 4 C's. Definitely, get familiar with, our mission and our vision, so that when you go into an interview, that's just something that you can relate to in the interview. You can hit those 4 key points on how that relates to you and your previous experience. Giving some detailed answers for responses. For me as a recruiter, I like to see, maybe 2 sentences, 3 sentences max when you're trying to answer a question that I might have for you. Don't drag it out, keep it short and simple. If the recruiter has more questions about that, they will ask you, then you can elaborate more. But definitely keep that, 2 to 3 sentences. That's just my, personal recommendation. And have, those specific examples. You can even ask, so let's say like if I were to ask you a question, you followed up 2, 3 sentences, something simple. You could even say, hey, Brandon, would you like me to go in depth? Would you like me to explain further just some examples that, pertain to the question that you had? So just, some professional advice and recommendations. Communicate your availability. That's something that, recruiters will ask you, but if, you throw it out there, hey, by the way, I'm available every weekend. I'm available, these days. It definitely helps a recruiter then narrow down what positions you would, best be suited for. And then desired shift. Are you looking to work in the morning? Are you, willing to work in the evening or at night? Giving the recruiter a heads up as soon as you go into an interview, just, hey, like, I'm interested in working overnights. I'm available, 4 days out of the week. That gives the recruiter just it just takes a step away and allows us to narrow down that search for you and the position that would best fit. And ask questions at the end. I always recommend that you have 2 to 3, solid questions, pertaining to the position, just to, follow up with the recruiter at the end. Definitely important. So that wraps up, I guess, the interview hints for me. So once you have received an offer with us, I guess reverting back to the first slide, you'd go through the application process, the interviewing process, and then the offer. Then it would come to the onboarding process. This is when it's extremely crucial that you have specific documentations ready to go. That would be your driver's license, social security card, your birth certificate, any of those sort that you can use as just to verify your identification, as well as education. So making sure that you have transcripts from high school or college, or let's say even the diploma. That's definitely I guess, like, from my perspective, I would want the diploma first, transcript second, but either one works. The new hire clearance is just moving on to the next part. You will have to go through a background check. You will have to go through a physical medical check. So you will be provided some forms to fill online. Definitely fill those out honestly, truthfully, professionally. And getting these forms done as soon as possible will get the process moving faster. You will be able to start faster. You'll be able to, earn that paycheck essentially faster. So it honestly, when we come to the onboarding process, it's really on you guys to fill out this paperwork, fill out the forms. Everything's online. Everything's like electronic. So it's really on you to then go into your email, fill out these forms as soon as you can, and just communicate with myself, or we have an onboarding team that specializes in onboarding, and that would be the point person to contact if you have any trouble moving through the onboarding process. And then lastly, the new hire online paperwork. There's a little there will be a link that's sent to your email. You'll have to fill out some forms, some electronic signatures, that sort of thing. So you'll have to go through that as well. So like I said, this is a very crucial part, because yes, you have signed that offer letter, but this will, the onboarding process is the final stretch. And if you sit down and you buckle down and you just get it done, you'll start faster. So that wraps up the onboarding process. And then we're moving on to the positions. So are you creative, collaborative, courageous, compassionate? And there's these 4 positions here. We have food service, catering to you, environmental services, housekeeping, and patient transport. So for me, I oversee all the southern regions. So from roughly, let's say like Perth Amboy, Edison area, all the way down to Manahawkin. So I oversee all these positions at every single hospital, all the food service and all the environmental services positions, such as housekeeping and patient transport. Food service, as you can see, is preparing meal trays. It's washing pots. It's working the cash register. It's working the retail side, serving food on the food line. So that's that space. It also encompasses food prep. So if you're working with cooks and the chef, you might find yourself chopping up some stuff, along those lines. We do have cook positions also. So those, don't typically show up as often as a food service associate, but, if that's something that does interest you and you have some experience, in cooking, professionally in a workspace, definitely take a look at some of our cook positions. Moving on to catering. So catering to you is you would go to a patient's room. You would have a menu that would be well thought out with a dietitian. that would have restrictions for that patient specifically. You would take their order, you would go back to the kitchen, put their order together, and then take it back out to the patients. So that's just a little taste of what, catering to you offers. Environmental service, housekeeping, cleaning, sweeping, mopping, disinfecting all different areas of the hospital. There's other positions within housekeeping as well. There's linens. There's also buffing and stripping and waxing floors. So essentially floor care is what we call it. As well as there's pretty neat machines that housekeepers will pull into the rooms. And it's just these giant lights. And it's almost like a UV light that kills all the bacteria. So there's really neat, portions of the environmental services position. And I've seen some of the training. There's a lot of training involved. There's a lot of chemicals. There's a lot of, processes and procedures and just ways to keep, our housekeepers safe and our patients safe. So really neat position for sure. And then lastly, patient transport. So transporting patients throughout the hospital. This would include stretchers, bed, wheelchairs, and this will be taking patients to and from different, let's say like to get an MRI or an X-ray, any of those sorts. So those are the positions that I oversee across the network. And then we'll move on to the education and requirements. Definitely take a look at this. I'm not going to read through it completely, but you could see minimum age is 18 years old, high school diploma or GED equivalent is required for catering to associate. High school diploma as well as a GED is recommended or preferred for EVS, patient transport and food service. And of course, like as you go down the page, there's different not restrictions, but more so we have requirements of like lifting, say like 50 pounds. There's different job descriptions that do specify, what is expected as far as physicality. And then just being, having that good customer service, right? We're definitely looking for a great customer service. I almost like to say it's like Disney, like almost like Disney, like having that just, that awesome customer service is what we're looking for. So yeah, if you read through that real quick, you'll get a sense for what the education requirements is. So then moving on to some further requirements. Like I said, customer service is just number one when it comes to these positions. But having, food service or any housekeeping background as well as patient transport background definitely is preferred. We expect, every other weekend that you'd be able to work essentially. In some cases, some departments are looking for people or, new team members to work every weekend. And then 3 out of 6 holidays in the year is what we're, looking for as well. To apply, is just in one of the requirements is just, applying and completing that Town Plus. Again, just to reiterate that is very important to move forward in this process. And then as you can see, for our positions below, we have our current openings and those positions right there. So requisition ID, you could read it. It says 2020-81737 food service. So that is what you would put in the search bar to find our sourcing rec. I call it a sourcing rec. It's just an easy place for everyone to apply. You would hear from me. I would reach out with an email or potentially a phone call, and you would be able to move through the process. So that would be definitely the numbers and the positions to apply to. And I guess I'm just going to throw in, like last second. So per diem, part-time and full-time positions for anyone who's not familiar. Per diem is contractual. So you might be working one day in the morning, you might be working in the evening, you might be working at night. It's a little varying. You can kind of see it there at the top. Per diem is just a flexible position. There's no benefits. There's no PTO involved. It's just a flexible position. I like to let people know, especially if they're in college, that for me, if I were back in college, per diem would work best, for some of the schedules that I might have had, because it is flexible. A per diem position will be able to, the managers would be able to work with you. So I highly recommend per diem for anyone. But if you can, part-time and full-time positions are definitely doable, depending on your schedule, of course, with the university. Part-time positions, 20 hours a week, full-time, 40 hours a week. And they both offer benefits. Thanks, Matt.
No problem. Just to follow up on what Brandon is saying here, and thanks again, Brandon, for talking about all these different positions. Yeah. These hospitality support service positions are so incredibly important in each of our hospitals. Especially now. Obviously, direct patient care is most important, and hospitality and support services are, in many cases, just as important. Right? You have families coming in. They, somebody may be sick, or they may need care, and they want to have as positive of an experience as possible, right? And that means making sure that everything is clean and making sure that the food service is a positive one. Almost acting like a concierge of sorts is really important for these, not just patients, but their families as well. And it's really just a great way to get into the hospital environment, right? The hospital setting, seeing how everyone works together, how we all collaborate, whether it's, doctors and nurses or the hospitality and support services staff overall. So these positions are so important to the success and to the productivity of making sure that patients come in and they get better, they get treated, and then they are released, right? So I cannot say enough how important these positions are. And Brandon, I'm sure you agree with that as well.
Yeah, I guess just to elaborate, like in some cases with these positions, you're seeing the patients as much as a nurse would. You're constantly in the room, and you see them every day, depending on some of these positions, majority. And there's one story that's always stuck with me, and I love it. I love this story. But it was a few years ago, one of our patient transporters was transporting a patient to surgery, and the patient was definitely, a little nervous, rightfully so. I mean, sometimes it could, definitely be stressful. And he or she, the patient transporter, happened to pick up on, I guess, like a song or an artist that the person really liked, and just started singing out of the blue. And it really made an impact on the patient, and it just completely changed the mood around. I think it was like in the newspaper, it was talked about, and it's those moments, right? That, say a patient transporter or someone in housekeeping or catering, you can definitely make someone's day. And sometimes you're, the only other person they'll see other than a nurse or a doctor that they're able to talk to and put a smile on their face. So definitely 100%. I agree with you, Matt.
So as you can see here, our main jobs site, our URL is jobs.hackensackmeridianhealth.org. Now, what I would love for each of you who attended today is if you can email us. And if you email us, we'll send you a link to fill out a very quick survey, and also a link to create a profile in our application system, which really kind of eliminates the very first step in applying to any of our positions. Right now, the survey is very important because, again, with that 4Cs mindset that we have, we want to continuously improve upon these types of events that we have, especially these virtual events. What can we do better? Was this information helpful to you overall? So if you can just email us at university.relations@hackensackmeridian.org, and then we will reply back to you and send you the link for our survey and a link for you to create a profile that's really tailored to today's event. Okay, so please email us as soon as this event's over so we can get back to you right away. Another way you can stay connected is by following all of our social media pages, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We have a lot of really fantastic information on there, especially about the COVID-19 pandemic. For instance, what do you do when you go grocery shopping? How can you stay safe doing that? how, are your pets safe, for instance? That's another article that we have. So really a lot of different information for COVID-19, and also information about the organization overall. What are we doing? What are we up to? And you can see a lot of different spotlights on our team members, how they are really incredible heroes throughout this pandemic in terms of how they care for people, some projects that they might be working on. So stay connected with those social media platforms as well, but definitely email us at university.relations@hackensackmeridian.org so you can receive that link to fill out our survey and also to create a profile in our application system. So that said, let's open it up for questions. Does anyone have any questions? Chris, I don't know how you want to organize this, or.
Well, Matt, you're going to stay live on this, and anyone who is muted, if you'd like to unmute and ask Matt a question about the presentation today, you could feel free to do so. We just ask that you respect each other as far as unmuting, because we could have a lot of questions all at once, Matt. But I'll let you facilitate that.
Sounds good.
My question actually is with Brandon. My name is Connie. I applied. I actually have 2 applications on file, and they say application pending review. I wanted to know, was there a way I could follow up on that?
Sure. So let's do this. I can't jump on my software and, because there's a lot of questions. Now, I'm trying to think. If you send an email to University Relations, I would say if you can just provide the positions that you applied to,
Okay.
Matt would be able to forward that email to me, all right?
Right.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Any other questions for me or Brandon? No questions. Well, if anyone has any questions, if you think of anything later on, please feel free to email us. You can email.
I have a question.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
My name is Madison Dowdy. I've applied through Hackensack Meridian on several separate occasions. Also, I live in the Little Lake Harbor area, so I was looking more towards the Manahawkin area for. I'm a medical assistant currently working at Atlantic Care. And, with my hours being reduced and such, I was looking to maybe transfer to Hackensack Meridian. But looking on your website, I'm not seeing many positions available for medical assistants. And I wasn't sure if the website was up to date or if that was accurate.
So our website should be up to date. And how have you searched for the medical assistant positions? Did you type in keyword or?
Yeah, keyword, and then I narrowed the search.
Okay. So what I would recommend, if you want to email University Relations as well, and just state your name, say that you're looking for medical assistant positions, I can look into it for you and see if there are any positions in the Manahawkin area, or if there aren't. I would certainly get back to you as soon as possible after I do my search as well, because there could be a new position that just might not have been posted yet on our website. So I can reach out to a couple of the recruiters to see if there's any availability there, or if there's not, and I can let you know.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions?
All right. So if there are no other questions, last call for questions. Well, then I'd like to thank Matt and Brandon for joining us today from Hackensack Meridian Health. For many of you, you'll be watching this presentation not live, but recorded on Ocean County College's Career Services website. So please feel free, and we recommend reaching out to Matt and Brandon about additional questions and information. If you need any assistance with resumes, cover letter, or additional application contact information, please reach out to me, Christopher Carbone, at Ocean County College, and I'll be sure to help you with that. And you can reach me at careerservices@ocean.edu. Matt, Brandon, thank you both again.
Thanks for having us, Chris, and stay well, everyone.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Take care.
Take care, everyone. Be well.